Hey guys, it's Andrew, and today we're making a Slayer guide for Elves. Don't know if I'll be making a lot of Slayer guides, maybe I will, because I've been doing a lot of Slayer, getting up my combat, just got 80 recently, and also questing as well, got Borrow's Gloves, very happy about that. But essentially, Elves tasks are pretty nice tasks. You might not realize that because it sounds like kind of a weird task, but if you have done the quests, you will get assigned Elves by Chaeldar pretty often. And to kill these things, you're going to have to go, of course, in the Tiren one, which is the Elf land. Probably butcher that pronunciation, but um, the two main places to kill these are the Elf camp, where Lord Iorwerth is. That's not really recommended because there's no bank there. It takes a while to get there. You can go through Arandar. You can take the charter ship to Port Tyrus and just walk. But I wouldn't recommend killing them there. It's just kind of out of the way, and it's kind of hard to sustain yourself there when these are pretty high level monsters. The best place to kill them is in Leda, which is over here. But that looks out of the way too. But luckily, if you do Roving Elves, which you probably want to do anyway, because that's the quest for the Crystal Bow and Crystal Shield, and you get a free one at the end. So I'd recommend you do that. You also get 10k Strength XP, so it's not a bad deal. You get what is the Elf Teleport Crystal, if I can find that quickly here. Yes, you get one of these, and it'll have 5 charges, and each charge will teleport you to the this town. And it works kind of like the Ectophile. All you got to do is click it, and to recharge it, you got to bring it to Ilfine, who wanders around the Elf Forest. She's not too hard to find, and you could recharge it to have 5 or 4 charges. And you'll get a lot of these from Elves, so you can, after one task, you could bring her all of them, and you'll be able to pretty much have almost an infinite number of charges to teleport here. So that's not really a problem. You'll get these, I'd say, usually every 5th kill or so, maybe every 4th, so I'll be bringing those soon. Make sure you put your teleport crystal in the bank, so if you happen to die for any reason, which you really shouldn't, you can quickly teleport back here and grab your shit. It's very rare that you'll actually see another player here, so I mean, even if you did die and there was like, 3 mil worth of shit on the ground, you could probably get it back without much of a problem. So to kill these, luckily there is an altar here, which makes this a pretty nice task. It's not like monkeys where you're gonna be want to using like all your attack and strength prayers, but it's close enough to where you want to pray melee. So, of course, if you have a black mask, use that. I don't have one. I could buy one, but I really don't want to spend a lot of money on it. And I just got 58 Slayer last night, so maybe I'll get one as a drop sometime, which would be really nice. Otherwise, I'll just buy them when they cheapen out a bit. But if you have Proselyte, wear that. I'll be getting that soon as well. But Initiate works pretty well too. And if you don't have Initiate, I guess Monk Robes would work. Which it'll give you a nice plus 17 prayer bonus with a Glory. And I wouldn't be too concerned about prayer bonus in terms of like taking away large bits of attack bonus. Like, I wouldn't use a God Book because I think the Rune Defender is much more worth it. Even if you have a Zami Book, it's Rune Defender just blows it away. If you have a Fire Cape, of course, wear that, and if you can afford it, a God Cloak gives plus 3 prayer, which is pretty nice, and of course a Trim Skill Cape, but very few people have that at this point. Also just got Borrow's Gloves last night, we're really happy about that. But also, I wouldn't bring like a holy symbol or anything ridiculous like that. It's not really worth it. So once you're here, it's pretty simple to kill them. I usually use the Dragon Battle Axe just to save a shit ton of money on super strengths. You just use it and switch back to your skim and drink an attack pot. A lot of people say use a restore pot, but restore pots are actually a lot more expensive, and attack pots will boost you slightly over your actual attack level, even after you use the DBA spec. So that's why I use attack pots, and I could get them for free because I pick up Guams and then I buy the Eye of Newts for like 3 GP each. So it's not hard to get a lot of them. But it's pretty straightforward. You just turn your prayer on pray melee and you start killing them. I'm training a little bit of defense at the moment. Going to go for around 60 or so. Not a pure or anything. I just want to stay 60 for a while for some quick combat levels. But I'll show you where the altar is in a minute. But basically, you're going to be making trips to the altar. See, I got an elf crystal right there. While I wait for my prayer to drain, I'll talk a little bit about drops. Their drops aren't amazing, but they're also not bad. One thing that they will drop very frequently is level 3 clue scrolls. I guess because they're a high level monster they do. And I've done a few tasks of these, and they usually get like 120. And the last Elves task I got, I had 3 level 3 clues in one task, which is amazing. And the first one I did, which was also around 120, 130, somewhere around there, I got 2 level 3 clue scrolls. I mean, you get a lot of clue scrolls here, and even if you're not getting amazing rewards from those clue scrolls, it's still worth it because you usually get rune items, and it could be 50, 60k at least. Sometimes you might get really unlucky and get just some law runes and some bullshit like that. But usually you can get a decent amount, so I'd recommend it. Also bring alks. What they will drop as well is a lot of green d'hide, which I guess you could sell, but I usually just alk it. It's a lot more convenient. These are mostly elf warriors, but there is a ranger, usually somewhere around in this vicinity, but he can wander quite a bit. Yeah, there he is. He's behind there. And I think he has a little bit of less HP in defense, so when he spawns, I recommend you go and kill him. Otherwise, you want to focus mainly on the guys with the crystal pikes over there. They will drop sharks occasionally, which you can pick up. I do recommend you keep a little bit of food in your inventory just in case your prayer drops. It's not like Jad where if your prayer drops, you're just going to die instantly. But it's happened a few times where I start attacking this guy, and I forget to change the prayer from melee to range, and I'll be half HP when he dies. So just be wary of that. They drop a lot of base. I know it's bass, but I call it base. So you get a lot of base drops from these guys. This is a cool thing to say, and so that can be your little kind of backup food, the base drops. So anyway, when this guy dies, I will show you the altar. Before I do that, I just want to say the best way to turn your prayer on is right after you attack them. You could also prayer flash, and it's pretty easy to prayer flash with these guys. But if you don't prayer flash, you can kind of AFK this task. And yeah, it would save you a little bit of efficiency to prayer flash and maybe even turn one of these on to still go to the altar. But if you're really kind of being nitpicky with that, and I would just say keep the prayer on and say fuck it. But again, some people who are just ultra efficient will prayer flash, and I really don't see the point in it. I'd rather just have a much more relaxing Slayer task and not have to worry about that. But if you want to do it, all the power to you. Other thing is, don't use your Dragon Battle Axe spec the first chance you get. Use 2 DDS specs before you can use your Dragon Battle Axe spec again. So you're basically going to be using your Dragon Battle Axe every spec and a half. And of course you can also use Super Strength, but it's a lot more expensive. So when you want to recharge your prayer, all you got to do is you run up here. There's a nice little ladder. Well, pretty average looking ladder, but still. And recharge your prayer, and then what you do, there's one ranger up here. They're still called warriors, I don't know why. And for this one, you can turn your prayers on, because you can recharge your prayer right after. So you'll be able to kill this guy pretty fast, because you got those extra little prayers on. Again, make sure you pray range. I just forgot again and started taking damage. But this guy you're not going to be killing too often. You're only going to be killing him every time you make a trip to the altar. But your hits will be, of course, a little bit better, so you can get a little bit of faster kills. It's not really AFK, though, because you're going to be killing him just too fast. So you turn all those off. Your prayer will be around half, depends on your prayer level and prayer equipment. You recharge, and while you're recharging, you click the ladder. And your character will kind of speed dash to the ladder, because he's already started. The animation doesn't show it, but he's kind of already started running. And Aryan 1 is facing the wrong way. I guess someone talked to him a while ago. And that's pretty much it. You just make little trips, and yeah, it's really not a bad task. You'll get a lot of money from the clue scrolls, hopefully, and decent amount of these guys don't have amazing defense, so nice little combat XP. You might be a smartass and think, well, I can just grab a dragon halberd and safe spot these over a bench or something. But these guys have crystal pikes, which have the same range of halberds, so that's not going to work. You could theoretically trap one behind a bench or something and range it, but it's really not worth your time. So I'd recommend just meleeing this task. But if you want to range it, you can just turn on prayer as usual, maybe use some monk robes, and it would probably work fine. So anyway, guys, that's it for this task. I think I've explained everything I've learned about this task, so good luck slaying. Join Andrew AJT62 friend chat, and like this video if you enjoyed. It might help you in the future, you never know. And yeah, have a good day. Happy slaying.